Hey everyone, it's Jonathan here, founder of Driving Academy, and today I'm going to give you 3 money tips that every owner-operator should know in order to make sure that they become successful financially so they can truly get on the road to freedom. Here at Driving Academy, our mission is to help 1 million people get on the road to freedom, and freedom to us means you need options. In order to have options in this economic planet, you're going to need some money. So in this video, we're going to be going through 3 different financial money tips that every owner-operator should have, or any owner-operator wanting to be should definitely pay attention to. Tip number 1 is going to be know your numbers. So when it comes to actually becoming an owner-operator, you're not just a driver anymore. You are a business owner. And as a business owner, your responsibility is to make sure that your business makes a profit. Now, the only way to do that is 2 things. One is going to be make sure you increase the sales or the revenue, the money coming in as much as possible. And thing number 2 is going to be make sure you reduce the expenses or understand your costs. So that being said, the first tip is going to be really understand what are your costs when it comes to operating your business. There's going to be 2 main costs when it comes to trucking. One is going to be something called fixed costs. Second is going to be something called variable costs. Fixed costs means these are expenses that you have to pay no matter what happens. Whether you're sick, whether you're sleeping, whether you're actually driving, these fixed costs are owed every week or every month. So examples of fixed costs are going to be things like truck payments and then insurance payments. Those are always going to have to be paid no matter whether the truck is moving, whether the truck is in a mechanic shop or not. The other type of cost is going to be variable costs. Variable costs are going to be things that actually go up and down depending on the use of the vehicle, right? So if you're your own owner-operator and you're just running the truck for yourself, variable costs are going to be things like repairs, because the more you drive it, of course, the more repairs should happen. And it's also going to be things like fuel are going to be the main things there. If you had employees, then that's also a variable cost, because if the truck is driving, you're going to be paying your employee. If the truck is not driving, you're not going to be paying your employee. So the first thing that you should understand is, okay, this is what my fixed costs are. No matter what happens, I need to be able to pay those fixed costs. And then I'll start understanding, okay, what are my variable costs? And the easiest way to understand your variable costs is going to be, okay, in 1 week's time period, how many miles did I actually drive? And then what was my variable cost? How much did I spend on fuel? How much did I spend on repairs for that week or that month? And then all you got to do is divide. So it's going to be the total cost that you spent outside of the fixed cost. And then the variable cost is going to be that divided by your miles. And that's going to give you kind of like your price per mile when it comes to the variable cost itself. Now you know what your minimum numbers of operating are, and once you understand that, it makes it a lot easier to help you make a profit, because if you know what your expense is, you know exactly how much money you have to make in order to actually make a profit. Because if you make all this money on the top end, and all of a sudden you're spending all this money moving forward, and you're not really using the money to actually keep in your pocket, all you're doing is pretty much working for free. Money tip number 2 is going to be manage cash flows. So what do I mean by that? So you're going to go through a point where you're probably going to be seeing a whole lot of money coming in, right? There's going to be trucking companies out there where there's individual drivers that can make anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 per week of money coming in. So when you see all that money coming in and it's the first time handling that money, you can get pretty excited. But this is where people go wrong. This is where they actually start spending money on like Gucci slippers and like a Gucci belt or a Louis Vuitton belt, or they start buying all these fancy things that they never had before because all this money's coming in. And then all of a sudden, that's right, that happens. Mother Nature comes in, something happens that you have no idea what's coming, and you are not prepared. First thing you should do is actually open up a separate bank account. We're going to call that bank account the repair bucket. So what that actually looks like is 17 cents per mile. Every time you drive a mile, 17 cents in your head should be moving over into that other account. Because what actually winds up happening is that's about the national average of what people actually spend on repairs. So you're not going to be replacing tires every single trip. You're not going to be blowing an engine or anything like that. But now all of a sudden you're actually storing away any money that's coming in, and you're taking a piece off the top, moving it right into the repairs. Because the worst thing that can happen is you have no money in the bank account itself, and all of a sudden something big happens on the repair side and you have no way to pay for it, and you just get bigger and bigger into debt. And then it makes it much more difficult to crawl yourself out of there. So as an example, for every 1,000 miles, you should be transferring about $170 into that bank account itself. Now, assuming that you do your pre-trip inspections, assuming that nothing crazy happens to you, at the end of the year, that amount should go up tremendously, which means you could do one of 2 things. That can just stay there and roll over for the next year, or you can take a portion of that and now you can spend that maybe putting a down payment on the truck, or that's where you can actually give yourself a little bonus at the end of the year because you did so good. But always try to have that target of like $15,000 to $10,000 inside of that account, and that should be enough to hold you over for any crazy major thing that's going on. Once you get to like 20K, start kind of planning to purchase yourself that second truck, or that's when you can actually start using that money. So understanding to move that cash management around. The other thing that you do have to understand is you actually have bills to pay. So make sure that all your bills are paid personally and business-wise before you start spending any money on increasing your lifestyle. The way I view money itself and investment is going to be first invest in yourself, which means not making sure you look good, invest in your mindset. Second is going to be invest in your business. And then from there, invest in other assets that produce its own cash flow. So eventually you can actually retire. You have some passive income coming in. If you want more information on that, make sure you put in the comments below, put passive income calculator, and then we can actually create a whole video on how you can become financially free using the vehicle of trucking. And the third and final financial tip that truckers should have, especially if they're going to be an owner-operator, is going to be set clear goals. A lot of people kind of go through life without goals. Have you ever heard the saying, if you have no destination, any road will get you there? And that's usually how people react when it comes to life itself. If you put something on the map, especially if you're a trucker and you want to go from here to California, exactly where you're going. So for instance, with your business hat on, how much money do you want to make? What does that actually look like? If you want to make millions and millions of dollars, you probably can't do that with just one truck. So now if you want to make that money, and I want you to make all the money that you want to make, you might have to start breaking down, okay, if I want to make that much money, how many trucks am I going to need to be able to duplicate that result? And then take it to the next step. Like, I want to make $1 million a year by what date? Is it by this year, 2024, 2025, 2026? What actual month? Because once you actually have a set target, now it's very easy to create a strategy. I mean, think about it. I want to grow my business is one strategy, is one target. It's very vague. Or option B is going to be, hey, I want to have a fleet of 10 trucks and I want to be able to make $1 million a year off those 10 trucks. How you find out to make $100,000 per truck per year in profit. And now you have a much more clear direction on where you should be going. So be clear, dream big, and if you have those clear goals, it's much easier to get the strategy that you're after. So money is definitely an important thing in any business, especially in trucking. I see so many people get this wrong. And if you actually want the best training on money, or on just getting your CDL license in general, come to our school, cdldrivingacademy.com. We have locations nationwide, and if we don't have a location near you yet, it's coming soon. But if we don't, make sure you check out our website. Contact the Linden facility. We're definitely here to help you out with the best truck driving school across the country. And we're definitely here to guide people in the right direction and getting themselves on the road to freedom. We think getting a CDL license is one of the best ways to do that too. Thanks, and I'll see you soon. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel. It's really going to help us out. Click on that button. And if you want to continue yourself on your road to freedom, here's more videos to watch. There's endless amounts. Hopefully we get to see each other one day very soon. Thanks.